All right. So, I've been having issues with Twitter and the fact that there are a few people in this world that don't necessarily have a shared reality of moral moral treatment and certain forms of behavior. And then I was on a show, I believe it was called Chaotic Truth, and there were a few, I don't know if you call it pro-black individuals, and I mentioned that Africa goes to Europe more than the other way around, and he mentioned that resources were stolen, and that they have that because of Europe and Western interference, Africa is in the state that it is in, and that's the reason why they're in as bad of a predicament. And I thought that that kind of is a big cop out, just a fake, phony cop out. Uh, you win or you lose a war or anywhere else, and then and I mentioned that because there was a British person on the show, and there was a whole incident in a part of London where blacks are protesting. I don't know if it's a Pakistani shopkeeper, but I thought to myself, this kind of behavior, this racial strife, would never be tolerated in Japan. And then they were saying we gotta, buy from black owners and black businesses. And the thing is, the difference between um, certain groups who say that sort of thing, the difference between those groups and other groups, others talk about it and others do it. Koreans buy shops and other places. Other groups will just talk about doing it because talk is cheap. Talk makes you feel good, but when you look at the results and you look at the score, one side is talking, the other side is doing. It doesn't matter, like, and it's always like there's a reason why I lost the game. This and this was against me. It's like I said, it's a loser. In my opinion, to a degree, it's not a realistic mentality. Some people, some cultures and some groups succeed better at modern technology, and they build societies that people want to come to, and other people make societies that other people want to flee from, flee want to flee from to go to those places. And again, the proof is in the pudding, and it's just again it's a lot of egocentrism and saying basically it's the other person's fault, even though in a lot of those places they kicked all the whites out, they kicked all the Europeans out, and now they say, well, it's not my fault. And there was another thing about the Windrush generation, which, by the way, I've heard different things about the Windrush, and they came there by choice, and there's a whole myth about they came to build Britain and they were asked. I've heard that that's untrue. Could be wrong on that, but there's a gentleman by the name of I think it's called History Debunked, and he debunked the whole thing about the Windrush generation. So there's a lot of myth, and there's a lot of ego in that, and that's basically what we're dealing with today. So we're dealing with a lot of egotism and cluster B personality, and the establishment is basically making this happen because the establishment are also egotists. They're mainly they do a lot of censorship. They do a lot of cancel culture. It's a small minority of people that believe this nonsense, but they do have power. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Thank you for listening.